Regulation restores access. Why cognition changes under stress. Why do humans sometimes lose access to themselves under stress? And why do some environments restore access while others constrict it? I think many things we call behavioral problems are actually access problems. Experience. Most humans know this experience. You know what to say, what to do, what you know, and suddenly you can't access it. Your thinking narrows. Your language changes. Your flexibility drops. Not because you're weak, because cognition is state dependent. Stress changes access. Look at this visual. Under stress, sequencing narrows. Language changes. Flexibility drops. Overwhelm rises. Cognition constricts. Not because someone is lazy or unwilling, but because the nervous system is prioritizing protection. Now look at the other side. Under regulation and safety, problem solving opens. Learning increases. Flexibility returns. Collaboration improves. Access expands. Access. This presentation is not about compliance. It's about access. Access to language, to learning, to memory, collaboration, flexibility, and self. Because humans do better when they can access themselves. What changes access? Environment changes access. Interaction changes access. Predictability changes access. Pace changes access. Safety changes access. Repair changes access. Orientation changes access. And before behavior appears, the nervous system has already begun organizing around the conditions it was given. The room within the room. Look at this image. What you're seeing is a human being carrying multiple systems at the same time. A somatic system, a limbic system, and a cognitive system. And all three are already active before instruction or learning even begins. The bottom layer is somatic, simple, grounded, factual, the body. The middle layer is limbic, felt experiences, emotional memory, narratives formed through lived experience, last time, waiting, embarrassment, failure, cost. And the top layer is cognitive, thoughts, expectations, explanations, reasoning. All three systems are interacting simultaneously underneath what we see externally. And behavior may be the last thing to appear. What we call behavior may actually be the visible expression of invisible nervous system processes happening underneath. And every person in every room is carrying these layers differently. That changes the way we understand behavior. The behavior you see may be the last thing to happen. Look at these examples. Didn't do homework, talking back, won't participate. These are the visible labels adults often see first. But underneath each visible behavior, multiple invisible systems may already be active. Look at the first example. A student who didn't do homework. Underneath that label may be working memory overload, attention fragmentation, slow processing, fear, uncertainty, poor sleep, sensory overwhelm, fatigue. Now look at talking back. Underneath that behavior may be language breakdown, poor problem solving, perceived threat, embarrassment, adrenal activation, a racing heart. And won't participate may not be unwillingness at all. It may be executive functioning collapse, fear of failure, social anxiety, shutdown, exhaustion. And because we cannot see those systems directly, we often assume the visible behavior is the problem. But the visible behavior may actually be the nervous system's solution. Because behavior is often the last thing to happen. Modern nervous systems. Now think about the bodies of today, the nervous systems of 2026. Everything is faster. Constant alerts, constant stimulation, constant urgency, constant comparison, constant access. Work follows us home. Phones follow us everywhere. Rest is interrupted constantly. And many nervous systems are arriving already overloaded before interaction even begins. So before we call something a refusal, we may need to understand the state of the system carrying it. A regulated interaction. A few weeks ago, I had to call the Texas Comptroller's office because important paperwork connected to my LLC had never reached me. And by the time I made the call, I was already overwhelmed. Look at the sequence on this slide. Overwhelmed caller, lost paperwork, escalating uncertainty. My nervous system was trying to solve a problem while already overloaded. Then a woman named Clarissa answered the phone. And what struck me afterward was this. She didn't solve the problem first. She regulated the interaction first. Her pacing was calm. Her sequence was clear. She oriented me step by step. And as the interaction became more regulated, my cognition returned. I could think again, sequence again, problem solve again. regulated interactions restore access. Adult regulation becomes interactional infrastructure. Humans borrow regulation from other humans. Children do, adults do, teams do, classrooms do. Look at the words on this slide. Pace, tone, predictability, sequencing, repair, orientation. These are not small things. These are nervous system conditions. Adult nervous systems become part of the environment itself. A dysregulated adult cannot regulate a room. This statement is not criticism, it's biology. Dysregulated systems naturally transmit urgency, defensiveness, confusion, escalation, instability. And regulated systems increase access. This is not about perfection. It's about understanding that nervous systems affect other nervous systems constantly. Rupture happens when nervous systems become overwhelmed. Ruptures happen in classrooms, in homes, in relationships, in leadership. Sometimes it looks loud, sometimes it looks quiet, but the body still experiences the rupture. Tone changes, faces tighten, voices sharpen, connection pulls away. And underneath those moments, the nervous system often begins organizing around something deeper. Shame, fear, disconnection. And often adults move on quickly while the child's nervous system is still organizing around the moment. The body remembers. Children often remember ruptures long after adults forget them. Not because they're keeping score, but because nervous systems remember unresolved danger. The adult may think the moment is over, but the child's body may still be carrying it. And without repair, the body keeps organizing around protection. Repair restores access. Repair gives the nervous system new information. The danger is over. Connection is possible. You are safe enough to return. Repair restores safety, predictability, connection, orientation. Acknowledgement matters, curiosity matters, recognition matters. And when safety returns, access can return. What access can look like? This can look different in different environments. In classrooms, access may look like participation. At home, it may look like emotional safety. In leadership, it may look like collaboration. In relationships, it may look like honesty. In workplaces, it may look like flexibility and problem solving. But underneath all of them is the same principle. Humans do better when they can access themselves. Closing. Behavior, learning, collaboration, flexibility, problem solving None of them happen separately from nervous system state. And maybe the deeper question is not, how do we get better behavior? Maybe the deeper question is, how do we create conditions where access becomes more possible? Because once humans regain access, everything changes.